Alright, so where will Yeat be in 5 years? Think about it. Well, a question like that, it doesn't have one answer, it's got multiple scenarios. And based on what we know about Yeat, making a logical guess, I want to say that he'd be around in 5 years and continue to evolve his sound. Although the outcome of Yeat falling off or just becoming a lot less important to us is a lot more probable than we think. Because looking in the past at rappers who we thought were going to be the face of the industry and create a whole new wave, man, it usually doesn't play out like we thought it would. And sometimes the biggest rap superstars really just come out of nowhere. Now, what could cause an artist to fall off even after building such hype on your name? Well, many things can actually play into that. And one thing I've learned from making so many videos in the past, man, is it doesn't even matter if your music's bad. It could just be your marketing, it could be your label, it could be your mental health. Because falling off or blossoming is really hard to predict. Now with Yeat, he's an interesting artist to me because he's in a very interesting lane. Because I guess he's similar to artists like Ken Carson, Summrs, Sofego, all that underground scene, because that's who he came up with. But he's also heavily influenced by Cardi when it comes to production. Plus his own vibe that, he just has on every track, and he just continues showing us who he is. And that's why I say he's an interesting artist. I really don't want to put him in just one box and restrict his limits. Because out of all the underground rappers he worked with and was cool with, for some reason, man, he's gotten the most mainstream success. Is it his image? Is it his music? Man, whatever. I'm not saying he's the best, but when it comes to numbers and fans, Yeat has surpassed all of his allies. So now knowing all of this and trying to predict where you think Yeat will be in 5 years, man, there are a few different outcomes. So let's go, man. 5 years is a lot of time. 5 years ago in rap, we were being introduced to like Lil Uzi, Lil Baby, Playboi Carti, 21 Savage, and more rappers who at the time were new to us but went on to be the face of the industry. Does Yeat resemble a new Uzi, starting a new wave, a new come up? Or is he overhyped and just a TikTok rapper? Well, the honest answer is I think he might be starting a new wave. Hear me out, because his numbers don't lie. The youth really fucks with him and sees real potential in him. And if you're hating on Yeat and these more up-tempo, exotic-ass beats, bro, you might just be an old head. Because people hating on Uzi and Carti when they first came out, all the quote-unquote mumble rappers, they all are fans now. And it almost seems like the division of Yeat's fandom and haters, it's almost history repeating itself. Now, am I saying Yeat's the next superstar, the new leader of the generation? Nah, I'm not saying that. Too many rappers have been thrown in our face and it just didn't stick. It happens so much that the possibility of Yeat just becoming a complete joke, man, is possible because we really thought Lil Pump was fire. Think about that. We really did. In 2016, us youngins who were listening to that were like, this is fire. Well, a big factor that will play into Yeat creating a whole new way of rap and going mainstream with it is when the shift from street music to rage and plug and beat is more accepted mainstream. Cause right now in rap, the bigger names are like Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Polo G, Kodak 21, Future. These are the faces of the industry. And these are all street rappers. They all came up in the streets, they make street music, and it's really like trap. It's mostly trap that they make. Am I saying these are the best artists in the industry? No, I'm just saying that these are the mainstream ones right now. You need to understand that. These are rappers that if they were to drop, they're going to chart higher and do better numbers than any other rapper in the entire world. And if artists like Summrs and that whole scene become more mainstream, the result will have been that street music is finally falling back. Because don't forget, street music has fallen back before, you know what I'm saying? It was really popular when 50 Cent came out, Jay-Z. It kind of faded in 2010 where hip-hop kind of became the most famous genre again. But with RICO cases and overall self-snitching, that could be another reason that plays into street rap really dying out again. Now knowing that, man, it's really possible one day this underground scene we see praised on TikTok could really take over the same way that clout rap took over in 2016. And I'm saying if that does happen, I think Yeat will be a legend and looked at as like a pioneer of this new wave. Similar to the artists in 2016 who came out, built a lot of fans, and just continue to evolve with the current generation. Now, what could cause this plan to fail? Because in most cases, artists who have gained such sudden mainstream hype in only their first few years usually have a hard time staying at that level of fame. Look at Roddy Ricch after The Box, because he had built solid hype, but then after he released that, bro, his career just had a complete breakthrough. He would become Grammy nominated, he would become one of the most famous artists in the world, although following 2019 and waiting like a whole year to drop his next project was a flop because that's how quick people move on. 2 years later, almost 3, and he's still struggling to reach that level he once was. Although to rebuttal that, Yeat hasn't had a breakthrough song. Despite having many hits, he's never had like a #1 Billboard song. So his career might be more of a steady incline, and with his last tape selling 30K, that's a great start as long as he keeps improving and increasing every year. Look at Lil Baby and Gunna, two of Atlanta's most notorious current day superstars. Well, in 2018, right before they were getting their real recognition with Drip Too Hard, they had been releasing bangers and doing the same thing that Yeat's doing right now, just dropping music, and the people who fucked with it so hard because it was new also. And with both Baby and Gunna, after blowing up, they had their most successful projects years after blowing up. Lil Baby having the most streamed album in 2020, plus Gunna, who had a #1 album who sold more than The Weeknd. Now, Yeat's story can definitely be similar to these artists who just keep evolving and evolving as time goes on, and they realize as they're making music, they are creating the sound and they are creating the wave. But let's not forget that these come-ups always have unexpected superstars, and Yeat in general was a very unexpected blossom, because there was a time where Summrs was more known, Can was more known, and there's even people online who said that Yeat's success should have been Sofego if he didn't sign with Travis Scott right before the Astro World incident, all of that. But overall, man, he just wasn't praised like he is now. It wouldn't be until he dropped Sorry About That and he went viral on TikTok. Then 3 months later, he's got 50 viral sounds on TikTok of all his music. And TikTok made Yeat the same way a lot of rappers were made on SoundCloud. But SoundCloud is a music service, whereas TikTok is a social media, and Yeat just happened to go viral. Do you think TikTok has the ability to make a superstar like SoundCloud did? Because people say TikTok is a joke and kids only listen to him, but at the same time, you can't argue with numbers. When it comes to his ability to get over 1 million views on YouTube, he does it effortlessly. Even YoungBoy said Yeat is his favorite rapper, and his influence is already going on to affect 1 million white boys who've never taken drugs. So to summarize and help put everything together now, I think determining where Yeat will be in 5 years has a lot to do with his lane and his sound becoming more accepted in mainstream. Because we're at a time right now in rap where artists like Summrs, Destroy Lonely, and all of that kind of shit, it really doesn't get on the charts and billboards, but we know the billboards is always like 2 years behind what's actually going on. That's why Yeat getting a song for the Minions movie and having a commercial for like Dicks or Nike or some shit, that's surprising for an artist of his caliber, but people really fuck with him like that. And if this new wave does go on to become the new generation, I'm sure Yeat will be considered a legend and a pioneer of this entire generation, along with Cardi, of course. Although it's just as possible that this shift never happens, and while Yeat has already made so many diehard fans, having a diehard following but not being a mainstream artist, that's a totally normal thing. Look at Lucky, he's been rapping for almost 10 years, and I guess you can say he's starting to get real mainstream hype, but he doesn't really chart and he doesn't really need no banger, bro. You got 5 mil monthly listeners, and that's a diehard fan base with you. They're gonna listen to everything you drop. That's just as valid as having mainstream hype, because a lot of that mainstream hype shit come and goes and fades because it's a lot to do with trends and what's hot at the moment. So since he's already gathered such a cult-like following, I think his success is only getting started. Now, will he be the face of the new generation, man? We're gonna have to let time tell with that one, man, and check this video back in 5 years. But of course, man, it's been your boy 10 Toes, and I'm out. Catch you, boys.